Okay.
Oh, look at that. We are back.
Who is
Halloween.
this
Who is this? This is the Phantom of the Opera.
guy? Is it really?
I am going to an Illuminati sex cult party after this interview, so that's why I am in costume for Halloween.
And he's going by himself?
Jay, you're coming with me. You said you would, right?
He'd be going by himself unless Alex wants to go with him.
Maybe our guest Alex
Maybe
will come.
Alex might go with him.
But today we have another episode of We're Not Famous with Sam and Jernavis.
Yep. And we have a special guest today, Alex Carrier. I call him AKA the Shark Whisperer. That's your new, you need to really hashtag. That should be your hashtag. The Shark Whisperer.
I wouldn't say that, but it's good. It's good to be here. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be here with y'all. And
Beautiful.
Welcome to Shark Tank.
Well, first let's talk about how we met this guy.
And, Mark Cuban.
Let's talk about how we met good old Alex. So Alex attends our gym over at Palm Beach. We're going to do a plug for Palm Beach Boxing. And I think I met him first, maybe, I feel like it's going on at least 2 years almost.
probably way more than that because, yeah, probably way more.
Maybe more than that. Yeah, I feel like
because there was a time like I met you, and then there was times where I've been in and out.
Absolutely.
So, dude, honestly, I think it's been I think since the first time I met you, it's probably actually been like probably 6 years.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, because
Maybe.
bro, the very first, you probably don't even recognize me because I had like super long hair, like down to here.
You might. You know what? I don't even remember you having long hair.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a long time.
Bro, I have a video on my phone way deep that's like you and I just kind of like moving around in the ring, and that was that video is definitely at least 5 years, maybe more.
Wow.
Wow, I didn't realize you've been down it for that long.
Yeah, because you remember I came from Miami,
Right,
and I was coming back and forth.
Yep.
So that's probably true, my friend.
Yeah.
And then you met Sam now.
Yeah.
About a year.
Yeah, I mean, I just see him hitting the bag. He hits that bag with vengeance.
Yeah. And then you kept it a secret. You know this. No one knew. I just really knew, like, your whole spiel, and we're going to get into that deeper, maybe a year and a half now. Maybe. I mean, did we start learning more? Because I remember all the guys at the gym like, hey, we want to go on a ship.
Yeah.
The Sharks. So you kind of kept it kind of under wraps a little bit.
Yeah. I've been doing it. I mean, I've been diving, free diving. No scuba. I don't do any scuba. It's all free diving. So you're snorkeling, holding your breath. But I've been doing that since I was like, I can remember. I started probably snorkeling when I was like 4.
Oh, wow.
Really started getting good when I was like maybe 12, 13. And then I've been doing the shark stuff since I was 18, and I'm 30 now. So
wow.
Did you grow up here?
It's all over the place, but essentially I was born in Switzerland. Moved to France, then moved to Tampa. That's what gave me my love. That was like my
Tampa is the Paris of the South, right?
My earliest memories was like about reptiles and stuff was in Tampa.
It was in
That's
Tampa.
what gave me my love for like sharks and reptiles and all that. And then after that, moved to Dallas for a bit. Dallas sucked. No, not really much going on there. I mean, it's cool. It doesn't suck. There's cool stuff there.
Right.
But it's
We could talk
there's
crap
not
about
that.
Dallas.
Yeah, and then back here. So the last 14,
Parents. Let's talk about your parents' upbringing. Do they live in the water also? Who introduced
a
you?
little bit more on top of the water. Like my dad did a lot of windsurfing, stuff like that. I mean, I guess he did introduce me to snorkeling. Like there was a moment I remember I was like holding on to his arm. We swam out, and there was like some barracudas out in front. That's probably my earliest snorkeling moment.
Yeah.
And I do remember that, and that definitely probably helped spark my love to just be in the water.
Got it. And your parents? So, which one? Switzerland. Who? Mom, dad?
They were both there. Yeah.
For work or for?
They're from France, but
Okay.
Switzerland's right next door. They were just both there.
Interesting. I did not know this at all.
Yeah.
Siblings? How many siblings you have?
I got two brothers. Yeah, 2 brothers.
Do they love the water also? Who's older?
Yeah, they both do, but in different ways. Okay. My youngest brother, he's like 4 years younger than me. yeah, he loves being in the water, being on the water. And then my other brother, he's 2 years younger than me, and he just loves being on the water. So he kite surfs a lot. He's basically like a pro kiter, but so he loves being on top of the water.
Do you surf also?
I used to kite.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to kite a lot.
Okay.
Kite surf, windsurf.
The guys who windsurf are crazy to me. Because have you ever seen it? It could lift them up like 30 feet in the air.
Never seen it
Yeah,
before.
that's the best part. But the thing
That's the
with
best
it,
part.
the thing with it is that it fucks your back. I don't know.
You know, you're fine.
Yeah, it fucks up your back really bad. So yeah,
Because you're getting bent.
yeah,
and all.
basically what happens is when you pull the bar, you got the board and you got a harness on,
Right.
and that kite pulls as hard as a boat, but it's pulling you like upwards. So you'll fly like 60 feet. There was a year I kited probably like 180 days.
What?
And I would wake up in the morning and I'd have to like turn my upper body and then turn like my lower body like separately because your back just gets so. And when you crash, like if you do crash, if you do crash, you're coming down. There's probably some jumps that like me and my brother have hit probably close to like 50 feet, maybe even 60 feet. And
like free fall down.
it's usually not a full, sometimes it can be like depending on how, like if you do a kite loop and your kite hits the ground and then or the water and you're above it, then yeah, you get exploded. Like it just is like, it's like the worst hit because it's your whole body just getting slammed. But
So high school. Let's go to high school for a second. So who were you in high school?
I was crazy. I've been kind of crazy my whole life, but I was really crazy in high school. I was known. I went 6 years without wearing shoes, and I was known as the kid who just didn't wear shoes.
Hold on.
Shoeless Alex.
In school? In high
I heard
school?
about him. Shoeless
Yeah.
Alex.
Middle or high school? What's this?
High school, yeah, not middle school.
And they
Yeah,
allowed
it
you to
was
not
high
wear
school. It depends. There was some teachers that would, some teachers that wouldn't. It just depended. But yeah, yeah.
What was your reasons for not wanting to wear shoes?
Good question. So
You want to be one with the earth.
yeah,
Well, that's
there was a lot of reasons, but originally being like my roots are in France,
Okay.
so we'd go back to France, and it's in the Alps. It's not like Paris, where you know everybody thinks about Paris when they think of France. Very different than that. Very different. Like the Alps is a pretty tough place. It can be cold and it's just like bare mountains. And I was hiking there when I was, early high school years, and my shoes were soaked. I was like, okay, I'm gonna take them off. And then I was like, wow, this is way better. And then from that moment on, it was kind of like,
You hiked in the Alps without shoes.
yeah. And that's what gave me my like want to not wear shoes.
Okay.
Okay.
But then when I got back in the city, obviously not wearing shoes is like, what the heck are you
For
doing?
sure. Yeah.
So, but I just did it anyways. And over time it got depressing because when you're hiking, you feel all these different things. And yeah, like you said, you feel, connected. And then once you're in the city, it's just like,
feel connected
it's
to
just
the,
concrete.
to the nail
Got
on the
it.
ground.
or like cut grass, and it's like not the same. But yeah, so I was just kind of known for that. I had reptiles growing up, so I always had like snakes, just random stuff, scorpions.
Parents were cool with that, huh?
Yeah, for the most part. It depends. Like it took some convincing, but then like, yeah.
What did your parents do for work?
So my mom was a yoga teacher. She actually
Shout out to my mom was too.
Yeah, she
Still
actually
is. Make
Still
sure-
is.
yeah,
Yeah,
shout out.
yeah,
She
yeah.
still does. Yeah.
she used to coach the Dallas Mavericks in Dallas.
And yoga.
In yoga.
Yeah.
Which,
they were
like
obligated.
Michael Finley and
It was Dirk Nowitzki. So they
Oh,
were
those are
they,
people. You know some players?
basically
Dirk
what
and Downward Dog.
yeah what happened was like these super tall athletes, like a lot of them just weren't flexible.
Yeah.
So basically Dirk started, he was the first one that he was like doing private lessons, and it improved his flex. Like he was just it was just different after that. And then Mark Cuban basically made it like from what I remember, mandatory for all of them to go to the class. So, dude, some of them fucking did not like going to the class.
Okay.
Like
okay.
they would be.
James Terry and Michael
They were like
Finn,
so
yeah.
pissed. So they'd have to go.
Yeah.
They'd show up with attitude. Like they just didn't want to be there.
Wow.
So that's what my mom did. And then my dad worked in eyeglasses. So he just not really too sure what he was doing, but selling, trading eyeglasses.
Okay.
But yeah, so.
And then from high school, what happened? I mean, when
Were you social in high school?
Yeah, it depends. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't say I was like antisocial. Like kind of I was like, I was, but I wasn't like crazy, like going, going to, parties. I mean, I was kind of, going to parties and doing crazy shit like a little bit later in high school.
Like
so
whipping
yeah,
out your
I mean,
snake at the
but,
party or something like
dude,
that?
I would do crazy stuff. I was like I was into like doing lots of, I developed a way that I could like make these like balls of fire that you could like hold.
Okay.
So I'd bring those. I would just do kind of crazy shit. And I didn't really drink at the time. I don't know why. Like, I mean, I had drank before.
Yeah.
Like even, I guess in Europe, you always like are
open.
It's open.
Sure.
And
So
like
open,
you
yeah.
grow up. So I was never like, I mean, yeah, I might drink like a little bit here and there, but it was never like, in the US, like a lot of people, like as soon as they get into like those later years of high school, like they discover and they're just like drinking so much. I wasn't like that, but I'd still go to parties and stuff like that. So.
And then did you decide to go to college? What was the transition from high school?
Yeah, actually, so I did. I'd say probably, yeah, so I went to college. I finished college. I went there for design.
Design?
Where'd you go?
And I went to Lynn, which is
in Florida, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Tampa?
like close to here. No, it's like it's on Military. It's in Boca.
Okay.
And
it's
so
it's kind of an art school, and
it not too much, but I mean that's what I studied there, design. And those years were weird for me. Like college was like really weird. To be honest, like I didn't really want to be there.
Okay.
It's kind of like you're just there because I actually got. I mean, one of the big reasons I was there, I got like a decent scholarship for. So actually, the whole barefoot thing led into. I climbed this mountain barefoot, and then I rode a thing on that, and then they were like, "Oh, okay," like, and so I got, something for that. And
this is in Dallas, right? Dallas, you climbed something, or was it?
So it was
Florida?
in France. I was living in Dallas at the time, but we would travel back and forth, and I climbed this mountain barefoot, and then they wanted.
How big was this mountain?
So it's called the Grand Sassière in France. So I don't know in feet, but it's about close to a little over 3,000 meters, like 3,800 meters. So once you're at the top, it was during the summer, but it's a glacier. And so there's year-round like ice and snow at the top since it's a glacier. So I had to train
with no shoes on, right?
I had to train my feet to like be able to take like the snow for basically there's about an hour, like that's what I had trained for. But the toughest part is like I didn't anticipate, but for 2 hours before the snow part,
right,
it was just frozen rocks, like so like they weren't like with ice on them, but they were just like the ground was frozen solid. So I wrote a whole thing on that, and anyways, that's what led.
And you won an award for the accomplishment, or was it a great paper?
Yeah, it was kind of both. It was kind of both, I guess.
That sounds miserable.
It was, yeah. For a few days, I couldn't.
How long did it take you to reach the top?
So it's one of the few mountains that you can reach without actually having like climbing gear, My godfather is a mountain guide in France, and he was the one kind of like guiding us and stuff. And I made it, I can't remember the exact time. It was probably like at least 5, maybe 6 hours, somewhere around that.
With no shoes on though.
Yeah. But it was a good time to, like, it was a good, I remember getting to the top and being like, okay, that was a good time. Like I got there like early.
Do you wear your shoes on the way down?
No.
Oh my goodness. Amazing. So then you received a partial scholarship, sounds like, to Lynn College.
Yeah.
And then you were studying. What were you studying?
I was studying design.
Okay.
Yeah.
What made you want to study design?
Well, first I started with business, and like right away I was like, since I've been little, I've always had like a business mindset.
Okay.
And I was like, this type of business is not like for me. Like I'd rather study design, and I was really into jewelry at the time.
Okay.
So
I see you got some
yeah,
rings on.
I made some of these. Or actually, I made all of these.
Really?
Are you serious?
Yeah, I made all of these. I didn't make this, but I made all these rings. But
Wow.
so I studied that, and yeah, and then out of college, I tried to start a jewelry thing. It was working decent. During my last years of college, I was really diving a lot. Like I was doing all types of diving, free diving, snorkeling. And what happened was jewelry design, what a lot of people don't get is that it's office work. Like modern jewelry design, like you're on CAD software in front of a computer. Like a lot of it's 3D printing nowadays. A lot of it, I mean, I did a lot of hand carving, and you end up sometimes on one piece, like, dude, the amount of time, it's insane.
Okay.
14 to 18 to more than 20 hours just designing like one piece. So as I was getting kind of like orders, I would do custom stuff. And the way I would sell my jewelry was kind of funny, but I would, at the time I had long hair, and I used to get my hair cornrowed, and then I would have like I would just have like 2 or 3 like crazy nice outfits, like crazy nice, like Robert Graham paisley print shirts and stuff. And I would go to Palm Beach
Island.
Yeah, Palm Beach Island.
Okay.
And I would just sit down like looking crazy as hell.
Yeah.
And just, that's it. I would just order something to drink or something to eat, and people would, like, I would look so crazy that people would be like, what do you do?
Right.
And I would just tell them, oh, I'm a jeweler, blah, blah, blah. And as soon as you say I'm a jeweler on Palm Beach Island, people just, they just want to show you like how much money they have, this, that, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
So some of them are just like talk, but a lot of them, I want to have like a custom piece made, this, that, blah, blah, blah. And so.
Good strategy.
Yeah. So I would engage in, I would just engage in it. I would sell them the piece.
Okay.
And I had a lot of successful sales, but I wasn't, at the time, I just didn't have like the mind to be really running a business, and it kind of got ahead of me in a way.
Okay.
And there was things I did that were, there's a lot of things in the jewelry world that this is the best way I could describe it. It's like legal drug dealing. So like there's a lot of cutthroat stuff, people trying to switch out stones, shit like that. That's happened to me. There's just a lot of stuff like that. People copying your design, making a master mold of it, and like you might be selling it for a certain price, and then you see it on Etsy, your exact design from somebody who stole the mold in a casting house. Because a lot of times I'd make stuff in-house, but I'd also have to sometimes ship stuff out.
Okay.
So they could like make a master mold so you could copy the piece.
Okay.
Anyways.
But this is insane.
This is really insane.
So where like would you go to the breakers?
I'd go all over, but yeah, I mean, pretty much breakers, like Cucina, like all those places, like all the fancy places, like Bucan, everything.
Okay.
And you'd order a drink, and you'd look like.
Yeah, I just sit down and like order food or order a drink or something. Yeah. And then people would just be like,
people
what
would
the
come
hell?
to you.
Yeah, yeah.
I need to see these outfits.
Dude, it was crazy.
I got something I need you to help me sell.
I can kind of describe. It was like a lot of times I'd wear like.
We're gonna work together on something.
He doesn't do that anymore, Sam. This is
I made the most expensive Rubik's Cube ever made.
What's that?
I made the most expensive Rubik's Cube ever made.
No way.
I did. I'll show it to you after. Yeah.
In jewelry? Or
we worked with jewelers. We worked with forgeries, metal forgeries. Yeah. It's fully functioning too. It's really cool.
That's sick.
Who created it?
Well, we worked in partnership with an anonymous artist. He's kind of like the Banksy of the NFT world. and we had the rights of Rubik. We licensed the rights of Rubik's,
Yeah.
and
His father's a toy inventor.
Dang.
yeah, and we made it out of Damascus steel.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
That's like-
I mean, I don't know if we want to bring it on the show. Well,
No, this
yeah,
is
no,
about
no.
this
Let's
is
move on.
about
Yeah,
this
we'll
is
move-
about
yeah,
Alex
this is
Carrier,
about you,
the
but
shark
I want
whisperer.
to sell it on Palm Beach Island for like $500,000.
Yeah. Do you have it? I'd love to see it. That's
Yeah.
So when did you make the decision to become a ecotourism guide?
So that's like a good, I guess, transition question, because basically what happened was I met some people in the industry that were both in the diving world and they wanted jewelry made. And basically what happened was I started making a piece for them, and I was doing it as a favor. Basically, I mean, they were going to pay for the piece, but I started designing the piece. I put a lot of time. It was actually 4 pieces. It was 2 gold necklaces and 2 rings. So
Okay.
it was like a big paycheck for me. Started designing those, and I spent a lot of time doing that, and they just pulled out last second, which usually I'd always take a deposit.
Okay.
And it just made me so pissed because I had put so much time and honestly money. Just, it was a risk for me to take, putting that money in. But since they were kind of friends and stuff, I was like, I'm going to do it for them. And during that, so when that happened, when they pulled out, I had put so much time and energy into that I was like, screw this. Like, I'm going to take a break from this. Like I had a lot of stuff happen up till then in the jewelry industry and how it was cutthroat and stuff. And during that time, I was also diving a ton. And right around that point, I got asked to join, to guide trips for a dude who was running shark dives.
Okay.
And he's like the OG of the area as far as like snorkeling, free diving with sharks goes. And I just enjoyed being in the water so much more, and seeing the animals and working with the animals so much more than just like sitting behind a desk and taking orders from like rich people and, oh no, and I want this. And with jewelry, there's a lot of things you can, and there's things that you can't do. So you say, you know, anything's possible, you know, I'll make anything for you. But then, you know, people still, there's a middle ground to that. So you'd have a lot of people wanting just absurd stuff that more or less can't be done. So, yeah, during that time, I was like, you know what? I'm going to just kind of lay back on the jewelry and just spend time with the sharks and do that. I just enjoyed it so much more. And to be honest, it was actually surprising at how good the pay was. Like when I first started doing it, I was like, well, you might not be getting paid as much, you know, per shot, but it's super consistent and it's so fun. So.
And how old were you? What year was this?
This was, I was 19 at the time, so I'm not good at fast math.
Wow. Okay. But then you start your own company called Xela Expeditions.
So I worked for this guy directly under him for 2 years. Then another captain got hired, and he was awesome. The first guy I worked under, the guy that originally hired me, was a straight up like pirate. Like it was straight pirate shit. Like the first 2 years I was there, it really like changed me as a person.
What do you mean by pirate? This is what do you mean, like?
Just like everything was like really, really like tough and grimy, and like you'd work so much. Like sometimes I'd work 30, 40 days in a row, and you'd get like just blisters on your feet from your fins that would open up and get infected, and then you get a staph infection, and then you're still working, and then, you know, you're just having to deal with the sea conditions. And him and I would get into it, and one time we even fought. We literally got in a fist fight on the boat.
With clients there?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Were you training then?
What?
Were you training then?
I had just started training.
Okay.
Like just started training. So I was just a little boy back then.
Tell us that story. That's cool.
So we would always go back and forth, like, dude, classic, like, oh, I'd win at boxing, this, that. And like, since I had just started training, you know how it is when you just start training, like you think like the world, you know, it's just like, you don't, and being a kid too, being a 19-year-old kid, you just like, you think you're invincible.
Right.
And, this dude was a big dude. He was like 230 230 something.
That's a big guy.
And,
Very big guy.
And it's funny because he was built like skinny arms, skinny legs, but like most of his weight was just like right in the. He used to play basketball and stuff.
Okay.
And it would be funny if he sees this, but he, yeah, we were just always going back and forth. And one day I was just sitting and I had my eyes closed and I was just breathing up, and he punched me in the stomach, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, it was, in front of clients and shit, and we just had a little pop pop, and then he was just like, all right, chill, just get in the fucking water and do your job. And so I did, but then I held that. And actually, funny thing is, years later we actually like had an official backyard bout. It was pretty funny.
Who won?
Who won?
I won, but so I had these Jamaican neighbors, and we set up this just whole like backyard kind of fight club thing.
Right.
And yeah, so he came and he swung, and like within 2 seconds he got, and this was when I was like way further down the line. I'd already been training a lot.
Training stuff, yeah.
And so I just shelled up for a couple seconds, kind of shelled away, and then I hit him in the throat like really hard, and he fell to his knees from that. And then he was like, no, like fucking let's keep going. And then he got tired, and then he called a timeout. Like, it was just a stupid. He called a timeout, and
right.
I was like, no, there's no timeouts. And then it was just like clear. My buddy.
And you got that gloves on though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
But at the time it was literally 232 versus I was probably 128 at the time. Like,
Wow.
I was like, but.
And then you left him.
But he was, yeah. So I left him, and then probably almost 5 years ago now, and then I started Xela Expeditions. So
Say it again. What's the name of it?
Xela Expeditions.
Xela. I want to make sure, because Xela Expeditions.
Xela. You could say it all different ways. But.
Got it. How do you define ecotourism?
So, I think ecotourism is anytime you can guide someone through an experience that otherwise they could never really experience, just on their own. But not only that, but do it in a way that is like as safe as possible. And they walk away from the experience really feeling like they've been walked through the experience by a master that has made them feel comfortable throughout the whole experience, even if it's scary or even if there's some scary things that pop up. And I think for me, that's mainly like what I would say is successful ecotourism.
Got it.
Is like you just need to really put people at ease and be their guide.
Got it. And what services do you guys provide over there? Because I know some of the guys at our gym now have been reaching out. I think we had
our friend Cisco.
He has went and used your services.
Come on our pod too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me, what services do you guys provide over there?
Yeah. So we do shark snorkeling, basically.
Okay.
We have a couple different trips that we do. We have a night dive, which is kind of more advanced. We have a normal 4-hour trip. That's what most people go on.
Okay.
And then we also have a half day, which is 6 hours. And that's where we target great hammerheads and tiger sharks. And we're the only ones to do that. It's pretty technical finding the hammerheads, tigers. Okay. And then we also do Bahamas expeditions and then also free dive courses where people can learn to free dive, breath work, how to be relaxed in the water. Okay. But a lot of those things transfer to outside the water too, especially
you told me
with the free diving.
What about like swimming with sharks? Would you say that's a transferable skill?
It really is. Like you'd be surprised at how much boxing has helped me with the sharks and how much the sharks have helped me with boxing, but also both of those things, both boxing and the sharks, are like such a good channel of like, I guess, energy, like, life is a up and down thing. And both of those things at the end of the day, you could just be having like the worst time and you get in the water, you have the sharks there, it heals you. And same with the boxing, you can be having the worst day. You're always going to feel better, after walking out of the gym.
That's for damn sure. But how does boxing help you swimming with sharks? Like mentally, like being...
The biggest...
They can sense fear kind of thing?
The biggest thing is that it just the cardio really helps with like the deep diving. Even though the deep diving is not necessarily a cardio driven thing, it really does help. I mean, there is a lot of cardio in the diving. Your heart is pumping your blood, which is your oxygen.
Sharks around.
And
Yeah.
but it's
We gotta
yeah,
get you out there, Jay.
It's crazy.
It
It's
really
crazy.
goes hand in hand. And I've always felt like the deepest I can dive and the more relaxed I can be is always when I'm training the most.
Question for you. So this whole shark thing is, it's amazing to me. Do you prefer to use baiting or chumming to attract sharks?
Great question. So yeah, there's
What's chumming?
Yeah, he wants to break this down. I want because this is interesting to me.
Yeah, there's two differences. So it's the main difference is like baiting is kind of like all of it, but it's feeding and chumming. There's like two separate things.
Okay.
So back when I was 19, back when I was like younger, I was crazy. Like again, just think like nothing can happen to me. You feel invincible back then. And honestly, it's a miracle that I'm still here from the stuff I used to do back then with the sharks. And I used to hand feed them and do all these crazy things with them. And yeah, it's a miracle that I just haven't had like a leg mauled off or a hand mauled off. But the sharks really aren't gonna do that unless you're the one pulling them in and doing it and putting them in the pocket and putting bait in front of them and wrestling with them and stuff.
Okay.
And that's so fun. At the end of the day, like
What's fun?
doing that is so fun.
You wrestle with the sharks.
Well, I used to.
Used to.
And so the thing is, when you're doing that, that's the thing is you walk away from that situation and you feel like, damn, like, and this is not how I feel now, but you walk away from that situation, you feel like, oh damn, like I'm the man that was so sick. Everybody saw
Superhero,
that,
for sure.
and it boosts your ego up. But that's the thing is the more I did it, the more I started asking myself the question of like, why am I doing this? And then also I started realizing some of the more negative effects it would have with both the fact that by doing that, you're putting the clients, at risk just by turning the sharks up. You're putting yourself at risk and you're putting the sharks in a position where they're learning to, take food and stuff. And a lot of sharks, they don't really learn that. But there are some sharks that will, over time, learn, like, oh, okay, human, they're going to hand feed me this and that. Some sharks do, some sharks don't. And so I started realizing all that. And so I started doing it less and less when I was with that other company.
Okay.
And I just thought it was kind of like, it got to the point where a lot of people were kind of monkey see, monkey do in the shark industry, trying to one up each other with like hand feeding and doing all these crazy tricks. And I was like, that's just not it for me. Like I'd rather just see the sharks like for what they are.
Okay.
And really the only way that you can consistently see sharks, but also minimize fully, that negative effect and putting, all those things I said out there is just chumming, which is like a finely ground fish chum that is just like kind of flowing. So that's what I do now. And when that happens, the sharks aren't really eating and they're not really wanting to engage with you, like to the point where, you're just like playing tug of war, wrestling with them and having a bait and stuff. And so since I've started doing that, it's probably been 3 years that I've really quit kind of the whole wrestling and doing all the crazy stuff.
Right.
But everybody else in the industry still does it. I'm probably the only one who really doesn't do it. And like sometimes I really want to do it because it's fun. But with clients on the boat, I just don't do it. And it's just, it's a bad example to like people who are coming up in it.
Okay.
And I've had an ex-girlfriend that got bit on the arm. I've had a good friend of mine get bit, almost lost her thumb doing that. And so a lot of people don't talk about that. I'm probably one of the only people who really talk about it openly. And in reality, that should never happen. So in the 10 years that I've been doing this, 10 plus years, I've never had a client even get really close to being bit while I was guiding a trip.
Okay.
And there's some operations out there running today that have had multiple people been bit. And it's kind of one of those
Crazy when you
things.
think
It's
about
kind of
this.
one of those things that it's like there's certain standards in certain industries and there's certain things put in place for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Shark industry, it's just full of pirates. There's nothing. Like it's just self-governed. So like,
Have you been bitten by a
kinda-
shark?
so good question. I actually have, and that was part of the turning point
Mm-hmm.
where I really stopped, doing all that crazy stuff, because it happened doing something that I'd done a million times.
Okay.
And that in my mind, I was like, it'll never happen to me. And then it happened. And I was like, and what's the funny thing is after it happened, it was a weird day, by the way, when it happened. I was in a weird mind state. A good friend of mine had just died. So, like I was just,
In a shark attack?
no. But he was a legendary shark diver.
Okay.
But yeah, so anyways, I was just in a weird mind state and just really pushing that day because I had that kind of mind state.
Yeah.
And it happened. And then thankfully, when it first happened, I was like, oh, because what happened was this shark came in. I was hand feeding it, which again, stupid, like
Okay.
looking back on. And that's what I'm really trying to change in the industry. But he's coming in, I'm hand feeding it and just doing everything like same as a million times. Mm-hmm. And I've taught countless people how to do this. Like most people in the industry still doing it. I taught them how to do this here in Florida. Mm-hmm. Comes in, and then next thing I know, I just messed up. My hand was in his mouth, and I was like, well, that's not good. And then it's weird because when that happens, you kind of think you realize how bad it is, but you don't feel how bad it is right away. You just
Okay.
like, so there's a little moment where I was like, wow, that surprisingly like doesn't really hurt that much.
So you're
Just
being
its
bit. I'm
teeth.
gonna make sure.
You have any
we-
scars you
yeah.
can show the camera?
Yeah, I can. It's really small. I got really lucky. I'll explain that part in a sec. But I remember pulling my hand out and remembering I was like, the next two frames that I'm about to see, like the next two like little micro frames that I'm about to see, is gonna either be my hand with the fingers still on there or my hand without the fingers still on there. Like it was like these three fingers, and then also I felt a little bit on my hand here. It was like that. It got me like that. If it had got me like that, it might have taken all my fingers.
Okay.
But yeah, I remember just thinking like when I look at my hand, I need to be prepared mentally that like my fingers are gonna be gone. And I remember like looking at my hand and being like, nice. Like they were still
Dodge the
there.
bullet.
They were still there. And then right after that, like the saltwater got in, and it was like, it was weird though, because it wasn't that like painful, but I remember it being more painful than I would have expected. But it wasn't like it was just a weird kind of thing. And I got on the boat, and I didn't tell anyone. Nobody saw me actually get bit. They just thought I hand fed the shark, and that was it. And we finished the trip, went in, and got stitches, and that's it. But right after that, I was like, oh, well, I need to get back on the horse. And then the very first time I went and did that, right after I got bit, I was like, everything was fine. And like, I felt comfortable doing it. Like, it's not like, but I felt to myself, like, why? Why are you doing this?
Right.
Like, to be cool, because this person's going to think it's cool, or these people are going to think it's cool. Like, but in reality, it's like, at that moment, I was like, I'd rather just see them do what they do. So, I just stopped doing it, especially on trips. Like I just stopped
When you
doing
mean
it on
stop doing, what do you stop doing? That means your feet.
the hand feeding and the wrestling and like the whole pushing and pulling them, like just because when you're doing that, you're really just kind of fucking with them, honestly.
Wow.
And it's like you're fucking with a wild animal. So I fully just weeded that out. And when I did, I started realizing that they show you all these other things that you used to not really get to see.
Okay.
And you get these more shy sharks, hammerheads,
Okay.
and more just elusive things will come in and show themselves.
What's the largest shark you have ever came across?
There's two, and they're kind of even, but the longest was a huge great hammerhead that we had, and that one was probably close to 18 feet, which is
18 feet.
Yeah, so they can get up to 20.
Wow.
One that's 20 in today's world
Yes.
with the threats that they face is
Yes.
like pretty much unheard of. And when this one showed up, I remember like freezing in the water, but not
You were in the
Based-
water when it just shows up.
based on so he was at the bottom, and when we dive for the hammerheads, have one buddy up and then one person down, and then you basically one person dives down, you come up, so you're holding your breath. When he's down, you're breathing up, so you're like getting ready to hold your breath. They come up, you hold your breath, you go
How
down.
long are you holding your breath for?
Anywhere from like a minute to sometimes like 2.5 minutes, but you
Scares you.
can't. You want to save some just in case something happens on your way back up. Like you just want to be. You never want to like bring it all the way to your max. Like
Right. So I think I'm like the average person, right?
I can tell you both you guys right now. I know your next question. Both you guys could easily get to 3 minutes. Like
No, that's not what I was gonna ask.
3 minutes.
sorry.
No. What I was gonna like, if I'm in the water and I see a shark, I'm gonna freak out. Like there's a shark. Like I've seen Jaws, you know. Like,
Yeah.
So you see that. So they won't just. They only like I don't know. I've heard this. I know nothing. They only attack if they smell blood, or like they just not attack? They don't see you and say that's a meal?
Yeah, that's a great question, and the best way I can describe it is basically remember back to the very first time you've ever sparred, and your like last time you've ever sparred. Basically, when you first see a shark, that's a normal reaction to have of like, ugh, like I'm so scared, because most people don't, you don't know shark, like most people don't really know what sharks kind of do or are, how they think. And when you don't know something, a lot of times it can be scary. And a lot of times that's being scared of them is amplified by the fact that these movies have put these ideas in our heads and stuff like that. So it's kind of that same feeling when you're like about to jump off a crazy high diving board, like that feeling you get when you first see a shark. And then once you've jumped off the diving board 20 times, you're like, oh, like, you know, this isn't so bad. And it's kind of same with the sharks. That being said, I always say sharks are like drivers on the highway, and also kind of like people in a way. Like you never want to trust a shark. Like you never want to trust a shark. And a lot of times that can be the same with people. Like, you know, at least for me, it takes a lot of time to like trust a person fully. And even when you trust them fully, you might not fully trust them, you know. With the sharks, you just can't trust them. And that's it. You just always have to kind of expect. But it's the same thing as like, you know, you could walk into a gas station and all of a sudden some crazy thing happens.
You're totally right, Alex.
You're walking down, you know, God forbid, like, you know, these days, lots of public shootings, stuff like that. Like, so what I always say is that sharks are a lot like people in that sense that you could have 3,000 sharks and all of them are just kind of normal. None of them think about, you know, a human. They're just not like that.
So if a shark is around me right now, what should I do to survive?
So that's the question people always ask me, and
Seriously,
and the best answer, again, like that's why I love martial arts and boxing, is like the answer to that is like, that's like, that question would be like to say,
It could happen.
think about being in a street fight. It's like, okay, well, how do I win a street fight?
Okay.
Is there 2 people? Is there 3 people? Is it this type of person? Is the person bigger? Are they smaller? Are they super aggressive? Are they not that aggressive? Do they have a knife? There's like so many factors that go into it, like the water visibility, the type of shark, like what mood it's in. Some sharks are just like people. Some sharks are just like Mike Tyson, like crazy as fuck.
Okay.
I was actually just saying that, like, everyone in the boxing gym, right? Like, have a certain whatever. It's like
personality, demeanor.
Personality.
Yeah,
some people are really good. It's like, there's all different levels, and that's like a beautiful thing. And then you have someone like Emma Williams that walks in, and it's like, all right, that's the most dangerous shark in here right now.
That's deep.
So like,
good analogy.
You can't. It's like the same kind of thing. Is like, there's not one thing that you could do. The one thing we do have on sharks is that humans are like like really intelligent, and sharks, they don't have arms. So the thing is, like, you can a lot of times control sharks. Like, you have one thing to worry about, their mouth. That's it. So if they really are coming at you, the key is, like, you have to stay calm, and you always have to have your head and your eyes towards the shark. You never want to put your feet. That'd be like being in a street fight and, like, turning around. You're going to get clocked from the back or whatever.
Right.
And it's the same with the sharks. You just have to face it. You can't run from them. But the cool thing is, like, there is gravity underwater, but you feel like you're weightless. So there's really no position you can't be in. You could be upside down. Sharks, like, you can be in every position. So as the shark is kind of trying to push you around, there's all these things you can do and reposition. I don't know. It's a hard. I wouldn't say fought, but there's been a lot of times where I've had to, like, engage with sharks and almost get in, like, kind of like a scrap with them. There's definitely like a few times that, like, stand out more than others, but for the most part, again, that happens like 1 in every 3,000 shark. And the key in being a good guide in the water, guiding clients, is to know what that shark looks like before it even does anything. And almost always, just by the way they move and the way they look and the way they're looking at you, like, you'll know that, okay, that shark is like a gangster of the ocean, and he'll, like, fuck something up. Like, you automatically
What are
know.
some tellers? Like I'd say, in the gym, you kind of look for neck tattoos or cauliflower hair.
Yeah. So the thing is, like, that's the thing is, like, yes and no, but that is actually a really good analogy, because it is actually true. It's the same with the sharks. A lot of times they're really, like, bad sharks, like, they're really the ones that you have to watch for. Same thing, they show up, and instead of having, I guess it's the same as tats, but they're usually, like, scarred up, like, they're all, like, just totally scarred up. Like, when a shark is scarred up, also when they're old, like, when they're really old, their skin gets almost like a little wrinkly. And when you get one of those that has, like, a little bit wrinkled skin, you just know it's an old shark, like 60, could be 60 years old.
I heard sharks can live to hundreds of years old.
Yeah, they can.
There's a shark that was born in the 1600s that still swim in the sea.
Yeah, they can live.
You've heard about this, right?
Yeah, it's 400 years old.
Yeah.
He was alive during Shakespeare. He lived through all world wars. The Civil War.
Dude, and that's the thing.
That's pretty
the
amazing.
French Revolution.
This is pretty amazing. So what does your day look like?
As far as, like, guiding, or
guiding.
Are you doing this every day? Is this like
so it's mostly every day that the weather's good. If the weather's really bad, then stay on land. But basically, what the day looks like is I'll prep the boat. So I'll wake up, prep the boat. So usually that's, like, just making sure everything's good, all the gear is good, snorkel gear is good, nice and clean. I trailer my boat. I don't keep it at a marina. It just keeps the boat. The boat is an important part of, what I do. And so by keeping it on land, you can really keep it, like, super clean. It's just, you can really keep it tight. So then I trailer the boat, launch the boat, and then wait for the clients to show up. They hop on the boat. You got to make them feel welcome. That's a big part of it, just talking to people, making them feel comfortable doing this thing that they're really sometimes terrified doing.
Yeah.
And then taking them out, and then just guiding them through the experience, putting them in the water. And then that's the cool thing, is that the day-to-day, as far as that, looks the same, but what doesn't look the same is what you're going to see. And that's what keeps you, just coming back, because you're just in this world that just doesn't feel like the world. Like, you just feel like you're in another planet, because there's no sound really. You could fly pretty much, because you could just dive down. You could be like, it feels like you're flying when you're diving to 100 feet. You get to 20, 30 feet, you start sinking. So then you're just free falling. You get to the bottom, and then you're kind of in the mind of a shark at that point, and you're just seeing these crazy animals. Like, it's not just sharks, but you'll see Goliath grouper, size of that couch. Shark.
Are those dangerous at all? The grouper?
They've been known to, like, No, not really. They've been known to like bite people, but they're not dangerous.
And are
They're not
you have a
like
tank on when you're down that deep?
No, so it's all free diving. That's the thing with free diving
Yeah,
is
free
you're just
diving, I've
holding
heard
your
that.
breath, and
You
that's
can
the
go down 30 feet,
Yeah, it's
40
free
feet
diving,
without a.
Yeah, that's the thing about free dive. That's why I was going
So
to ask about
I
scuba
usually
dive.
go
That's
down.
scuba dive,
So
I think,
when
right?
we're doing the big shark drift, which is with the
It's crazy.
hammerheads, we'll usually be in the water about 3 hours, and I'll go down to about 100 feet,
What?
and I'll do that over and over and over and over. Sometimes up to like the most we ever did was like I think like 80 drops, which is, by the way, not like it's not. I probably shouldn't even say that because it's not, that's not a free recommended thing in free diving, but
What can
that's
happen?
part of it. You can get what's called, there's a lot of things that can happen, but you can get bent, which is where you kind of like you almost hallucinate a little bit, which you don't want that, which people don't realize that you can get the bends off from free diving, but yeah, once you do it every single day, that's another thing, is like your body adapts. So it's just like someone who's sparring every single day.
Got
like
it.
your body just starts learning, okay, I have to move this way, otherwise like this is going to happen. And it's not the same in freediving, but it's the same way that when you do it every day, it just becomes normal. Your body just knows, okay, I have to do this, and you click into a mode, and then you just go
What
up
about
and
those,
down.
your ears?
You equalize your ears, so there's like different ways you can equalize. But yeah, you're equalizing your ears. So some people need to use their hands. Some people can do it just like without using their hands. And so you're equalizing. So your ears don't feel anything if you do it right. So
And you go over these, I guess, in the training or
well, so
before you
when
go
people
down?
come diving with me, so me and the guides, we're going deep. But I should have brought the poster. I meant to bring it actually, but our clients are just at the surface. So if you can
Okay.
if you can float in a pool,
Yes.
you can do what we do. Like
Okay.
even if I've had countless people who don't know how to swim that we've walked through this experience.
Okay.
So anyone can do it.
They're life jackets or no?
Yeah, some people will put in life jackets. Most of the time, we require everyone to wear a wetsuit, which they'll usually rent like right next to the spot we go out of.
Right.
So all the other gear we provide, but they once you have the wetsuit, you're like super floaty. So it's almost just like a floaty suit. And then sometimes people need a little added buoyancy. We'll give them like a life jacket. So we do give them life jackets. And yeah, they're just floating. So you got a line. Everybody's holding onto the line, and they're shoulder to shoulder. So that creates like a nice tight area that the guides can work around. So as soon as the sharks, there's like a zone where as soon as the sharks enter that zone, like near the guest, then you are just basically the guard. You're just guarding, make sure those sharks aren't going towards the people too close. And realistically, they could go up, and a lot of times if they could even go up and touch a person. It doesn't happen, but they could go and touch a person. They're still usually not going to do anything.
They're not
But
going to attack.
you just don't want to like let them do that. There's some sharks like tiger sharks, like that is taken way more seriously. There's very few sharks out there that, let's just put it this way, most sharks know what a human is. And most sharks, when they see a human,
Yes.
they know that's not food. There are some sharks out there that they'll see anything and they don't really care. Like if it's living and if it's moving, they might want to go see what it is, and they're going to do that by like kind of testing what it is, which I know that sounds like real scary, but there's ways around it. And so an example of that is here in Florida, we got two different sharks that kind of are like that, dusky sharks and tiger sharks. Everybody kind of knows what tiger sharks are. But tiger sharks, I'll say they have no filter. Like they are one of the only sharks that will see a person, recognize it's a person, and still just like, oh, I'm going to go see what this is, and potentially see if it's prey. Whereas most of the other sharks, they're just not like that. Like even great whites, they're so smart that they'll see a person and they just right away.
What do sharks typically eat?
They eat everything. I mean, that sounded like maybe more Jurassic. But what I mean by that is a lot of people think that sharks are just eating massive stuff all the time. But in reality, like a lot of the bull sharks we work with, they're like close to 400 pounds most of the time. They'll just go around and slurp up some squid, and then when they can, you know, they might eat a bigger jack that might be, you know, 15 pounds. So most of the sharks in this area are feeding on smaller stuff like consistently instead of like just eating massive things. Great whites, you know, they eat bigger prey, but they'll also do that where they eat lots of small things, and then eating a seal would be like their steak. You know, you don't eat steak every night.
That's true.
It's the same with them.
This guy's a big money roller.
I've been cutting back on steak actually.
Yeah.
Have you really?
Yeah, I have been.
Because of personal reasons.
For spiritual reasons.
Huh?
I'll tell you about it after.
This is all that's all brand new. So tell me this:
But
what,
yeah.
Alex? Well, I apologize, cut you off.
No,
Where
you're
you going?
good.
I want to know what's the biggest challenge ecotourism faces today.
Well, for what I do, I think there's a lot of different challenges. There's one or two challenges here in Palm Beach, I'd say. One is that a lot of things are getting privatized. So, like for example, the boat launch I used to use, they closed down. So now there's only two. So, you know, more people go into that, and then there's not enough parking, and so there's ways around that. But like even the marinas here, they're all full. So like you can't really get a slip. So it's like, I'd say one thing is like, in certain places, the earth is like running out of room for certain things. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, no.
Or competition. Yeah. And then the other thing is, right now the sharks are definitely under threat. There's a lot of people
Like
that
extinction threat.
It depends which ones. Some yes, some no. But for the most part, there's some areas they're really decimating. There's some areas they're bouncing back. But the long story short is that a lot of fishermen don't like sharks, because when you catch a fish, that shark is hardwired to go eat that fish. It's just like an injured gazelle. Why would like a cheetah go after a fully healthy one when it could hit an injured one?
Oh, so you mean they have it on the line and then the shark comes in
and takes it. So that happens a lot. But
If I was a shark, that's what I'd do.
just hang out around
exactly.
fishing? Yeah.
And the thing is that the ocean, I'm just as much a fisherman basically as I am a diver. Like I do a ton of spearfishing. I catch all my own bait that we use on the shark dives, the chum, what I used to make the chum. So I catch a lot of fish, and yeah, it does happen that a shark comes and takes it, but that's, for me, like part of the game. Like if you want to go on the ocean and you want to fish, that fish isn't yours till it's in the boat. Once it's in the boat, it's yours. Until then, it belongs to the ocean. And so if you want to avoid that and not have that happen, there's two things you can do. Is first thing, leave your skirt at the house and stop complaining. And the second thing is stick to bass fishing. Because if you want to fish and you want to catch fish, and you don't want to deal with the challenges of the ocean, then just stick to bass fishing. Like the ocean just has sharks, and that's how it is. So a lot of people want to get rid of all the sharks and stuff, but when you do that, you're just going to there's a lot of fish that are like considered trash fish that humans don't really eat.
So you get overfished.
Yeah, it'll get overfished, and
For the worst, for the bad fish.
Yeah, there's already a few species here that are of fish that, because they don't get caught, they like their populations are bigger. And the sharks are the only ones that eat those. So you take the sharks out, and those just go, and then
you can mess up the whole environment.
So like mahi that's really good to eat. They start off like tiny. So, you know, if you get a whole school of mahi, they're like this big. It's a massive school of like 100 mahi, and you have a big school of jacks that comes up. They eat all of them. Then there's less fish to eat. So the thing is that if the sharks had eaten some of those jacks first, now there's not as many jacks to take like the fish. So it's a fine balance, and a lot of people don't really get it. But the thing is, like, nature always kind of like levels itself out.
Got it.
So if you come in and you take all the sharks and you put like the human touch on it, it's always gonna fuck up, like time and time again, and it's been proven.
I have a question. What's it? You said you brought a girlfriend out and she got bit. Do you?
No. So I had an ex-girlfriend who was a guide, who not with me.
So you
separate
dated
occasion.
another shark, shark whisperer.
Yeah. And she got bit, and same thing. It was just pushing the boundaries, but she got bit way worse than I did. Way worse. Way worse. So.
Like, did she lose a?
No, she almost did though. She almost could have lost her arm. And she has like a really like gnarly scar. Like anytime you see her arm, you can immediately like, oh shit, what happened to your arm? It's not like little low key thing.
What's the craziest thing you've seen a customer do based off just straight fear?
A customer?
Yeah, like passing out.
That's a great question, dude. So honestly, the list of that is super long. But I'm just gonna narrow it down.
I would be your worst.
My favorite
I'd jump
one.
back on the boat if I saw a shark.
And so basically we had man, I don't know if it's allowed or not, but I almost wish I could do like the Indian accent right now, but
You can do it.
dude, let me tell you, you'd be
He's
very
good. He's good.
So no, but basically we had these. I'm not just.
I know. No, listen.
But
we don't want to get you canceled.
This is the story. We wouldn't want to get canceled.
Right.
But this is the story of that. So, we had this group that was coming for a team building activity.
Okay.
So this group showed up. It was these 3 Indian guys. They were hilarious, but they showed up and they were like they were cracking jokes and stuff, and they were just like cracking. They were just funny guys, like talking shit to each other and stuff. Like, who's gonna get eaten first? They showed up in normal street clothes. We're like, guys, you're going snorkeling. You gotta go change. They go change. We get out there, and we start the dive. It was a slower day. Like, the sharks were a little slower that day. So I hopped in the water. That day I was captaining, and I had a guide with me. And then we had another person as well guiding. So we had 2 guides in the water. One guide got back on the boat. I hopped in the water to try to really kind of get the sharks up. And there's certain things you can do. And I'm in the water, and I look over at the other guide, and she just has like the biggest like smile on her face, and I'm like, what is so funny?
Yeah.
And I turn around, and behind the boat, this Indian guy had jumped in the water, and he had no shorts, no pants on. He just had a shirt. He was butt naked in the water.
What?
On the other side of the boat. So like, you got the boat and then the lines here, and at this point we have no sharks around. He's butt naked.
They were scared, the sharks.
And he just goes like, he just kind of like assumes a certain position.
Okay.
A yoga pose.
And he just lets out like the biggest shit you've ever seen. And I hate to get into like too much detail.
What?
But half of it was just like diarrhea, and then one part of it, I'm so sorry for this, but this is a crucial point to the story.
Yeah.
One part of it was like this massive shit log, like probably like this.
Come on, man.
Like a foot long massive shit log. So I'm like,
in front of a woman, he did this.
I'm in front of a mom, a dad, a 13-year-old daughter,
the other customers were there.
and both his friends. So just remember the 13-year-old daughter. She was at the very end of the line.
Okay.
So they didn't actually see him naked just because he was on the other side of the boat, and they were looking straight down to see like where the sharks are and stuff. And so I'm like, oh, screw this, because the shit was all gonna drift towards where I was. Like, you just start drifting. So I yank myself back on the boat, and I'm just like pinching myself, like, did this really just happen? Like, is that real? So I'm like, dude, get back on the boat. What are you doing? And he gets back on the boat, and he's like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Blah, blah. He puts his shorts back on halfway. His like butt crack's still sticking out. And then all of a sudden he looks at where his shit is, and he realizes that it's still there. He thought it was just going to get sucked away by the ocean. So he looks at me and he's like, can you move the boat? Can you move the boat? And I'm like, I can't move the boat, dude. Like, everybody's in the water. By the time I pull them in, they're going to be in your shit. Like, that's just how it is. Like, I can't do anything. Like,
This is crazy.
They're going to get covered in shit. And this is not this. By the way, this is not.
This is what every river in India is like. By the way,
This is not on my boat. This is not on my boat.
Okay.
This is when I was working for this other company. So I've had no debauchery like that happen on my boat. But I would yeah, it was.
That
anyways.
was yeah.
So this is where it gets good. I know you'd think.
Oh,
it
yeah,
would be good,
I mean,
but this
it
is
can't
the
get much
best.
better
This
than
is
this.
the best part. So when he says. When he realizes I can't move the boat, he like slumps over the side and he looks down and he's just watching like his pieces of shit come floating under the boat and his shit's just going all into people.
Oh my gosh.
And all of a sudden that legendary log like makes an appearance. It like rolled under the boat and like pops up and now it's like going straight down the line. And his eyes, he just goes like, his eyes get wide and he looks at me and he's like, can I move it? Like, can I move it? And I'm like, move what? And he's like, points to the shit. And I'm like, I guess.
This is crazy.
He gets a running jump. At this point, by the time he like got all ready to like jump, the shit's already like about to like hit this girl. It's about to hit this girl. So he runs.
crazy.
He runs. He runs.
Oh my gosh.
Jumps off the side of the boat, puts his hand out like Superman, thinking he's gonna land 20 feet away.
Right.
But he lands like 3 feet away. And he looks up and he sees that the shit is about to hit this girl. So he swims as hard as he can.
Oh my
he
God.
swims.
crazy.
He gets to the girl, and the girl at this point still has no idea there's shit in the water. Like she was just chilling. Like
Yeah.
people just might have thought it was chum or something. But at this point, she looks up and she has this Indian dude right in front of her, and she's just got this massive log right in front of her face, and he just goes like this. Yeah, he didn't know what to do, and he didn't want to move it, and he just thought that if he just, I guess, flushed the toilet, so to speak.
Oh my god.
And this girl was just petrified, and she didn't want to be rude and be like, why is there like she just didn't
This is
comprehend.
crazy.
So she just put her head back down, and then they get back on the boat, and I could tell the girl whispered something like to the parents, and the parents were like,
Right.
just trying to like. And so the whole ride in, one of his friends knew that he like shit in the water like towards the end, and the whole ride in he was like just in the boat, and they were just patting him on the back like it's okay, buddy.
He was
It's
just,
okay.
He just embarrassed or something?
And dude, they were supporting him, but I guarantee you they still talk to this day at his office about the time he went shark diving and was so scared that he shit himself in the water. So that's the craziest one. I have a lot, sadly, but
That
I have,
is
like-
crazy.
Did Cisco do anything crazy when he was
no,
out?
Cisco was
He was
he was
cool.
like, get him closer. We honestly had a kind of a slow day when he came out. I was hoping that we could get some like bigger stuff. And it's a lot of times it's like the people I want to show the most, like that it can be a little slower day.
Yeah.
But
Do you ever like meet a girl on these trips?
yeah. I met a longtime girlfriend on one of those trips, like my most recent girlfriend. Yeah,
Could you
it's
take
a great
them-
time. You get a great
Because
bond.
you're dominating sharks. You're communicating with sharks. I would imagine a woman would find this very attractive.
So yeah, but the thing is, I don't like.
You don't date your clients.
Yeah, no. But I mean, it depends. If like depending on it, but no, not really. But the
hear
thing
you.
is, like, I don't want in a relationship, like, you can't have that be like the one thing that they're like, oh, like shark. Because in reality, like, I talk about sharks a lot, and I spend my life with them. But
Right.
it's like, there's so much more, to life than that. And there was a time where.
It's like Jay playing professional basketball. He doesn't want to build the attraction on that.
Yeah, you don't want to talk about that. That's not.
I didn't know that. That's sick.
Yeah.
I want to hear about that more.
You don't know about it?
It's about you, my friend. It's about you today. What would you like pass along to someone that's aspiring to become an ecotourism guide?
A shark whisperer.
I mean, I guess to anyone trying to be anything, really, like, it's kind of, I feel like dreams only come true to dreamers. Like, you can't, and everyone's always going to tell you, like, you can't do something. Like, there's always going to be people who going to tell you can't do this, can't do that. And there's a lot of haters, a lot of jealous people. And you just have to know, like, your abilities and if you have an idea, you just gotta chase it full throttle. I have a quote in my room. It's pretty simple, but it just says, "Be a shark," which essentially that just means, you just gotta keep moving forward, and like at the end of the day, you just have to go after like what you need, like for your soul. So for sharks, it's gotta go after prey, and you gotta chase whatever dream it is, like same way. Like you just can't stop. You can't take any shit from anybody, and it's the same in boxing too. You wanna be
no, same
world
for
champ,
sure.
You gotta just chase
you were
it.
telling, you kind of whispered it. I don't know if you want to let everyone know, but you've been working on, I think, a part of a Netflix type of.
It's
If you're able to speak on.
Yeah, I can speak on it. Yeah, so last year we did a documentary about great whites in Cape Cod, and might come out on Netflix, and it's a big tie to Jaws. Basically, the whole documentary is about how Jaws just changed the image of sharks for the worst, and how great whites just aren't really like that. So hopefully it'll come out on Netflix. Don't know when, don't know if it will, but it would be cool if it did. But we've done a lot of, both my company, the company I used to work for, have done a lot of work with Nat Geo, Discovery, a lot of TV stations.
Right.
Like sharks are a big, people want to like
For sure.
see
Alex.
sharks.
Oh, you?
Oh no.
I was going to ask him, well, Alex, do you feel you're kind of famous?
It depends to who. Like I'd say there's maybe not really, like that's not really like my goal is ever to be famous, but I want to be the opposite of famous, to be honest. I want to be
infamous.
I want to be someone really, I want to be like a ghost. Like I take a lot of inspiration and like from the sharks. Like a hammerhead is just like a ghost, but when it shows up, it's like, okay, this thing is here right now, and it just has like a powerful presence to it, and then it's gone, never to be seen again.
How do you define being famous then?
For me, being famous would be just like being famous, I guess, is just being famous. But for me, success is not in that. It would be just like having a sailboat, getting away from society for the most part, being free, like on the ocean, But I guess being free. Free
Is being famous.
Like, I say being free is like, for me, being free is like success, would be success.
Ah, got it.
Being famous, would just be being famous.
Some people are uncomfortable with the whole term famous, and they kind of steer away from the spotlight. Sam loves this. He loves the spotlight. He wants to be famous for sure.
I like attention.
He loves it. He loves
like a little
attention.
girl.
Not like
Yeah.
He loves attention.
No, that's. I mean, like to each their own existence. Like I'd say there's a certain community that a lot of people, know what I've done, and there's a lot of people who know who I am, but maybe not know me so well, and then, and it kind of spreads to an outer circle, and then, so.
Well, what is the legacy you want to leave behind?
Dang, that's a deep question. I think I'm gonna have to think more on that, but I'd really say that if you can connect some way, like just with nature, and learn something from it, and there's inspiration everywhere, it really helps. And I also, I think that's a huge one. No matter how small it is, even just, going to, canal here, and just seeing, but you could find a lot of inspiration. Like even in boxing, like if you watch sharks' movements and then apply certain things that they do, like there's just inspiration everywhere. So I wouldn't. Yeah, that's a deep question. I'd have to think more on like the exact what my legacy would be. I'd have to think more on that, but just maybe being, I don't know, the last true kind of like pirate of the Caribbean.
Shark
probably.
whisperer.
Is this something you want to do for the rest of your life?
Yes, but I don't know if I want to do it guiding clients. I'm actually in the process of expanding kind of what we do and potentially making the shark thing a little bit more private and a little bit more smaller scale, but like to a more private clientele, which it's already pretty private, but even more so. And then doing something else as far as like kind of the bread and butter to like make a living. And then hopefully doing that would allow me to go explore spots that I want to explore and like do things that I want to do, like go further and kind of just see, find different sharks, different places, different animals, not just sharks. I love dolphins too. I love spending time. I honestly like, with all that being said that I've just talked about, I like spending time with dolphins more than I like spending time with sharks.
Yeah, I like dolphins. You know, they're not gonna eat you, right?
No, they're not. They can be pretty they're way more gangster.
And they're gonna rape
than
you. I hear
sharks.
dolphins rape people.
It has happened, but it's unlikely.
Dolphins rape women. Yeah.
It has happened. Yeah, it can
Opinion
happen.
out, yeah.
It's unlikely, but it has happened.
Did not know that.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Alex, this was amazing.
Thanks
you
guys
for coming on.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Really enjoyed it,
You guys
Alex.
guys are sweet.
AKA Shark Whisperer. You need to start hashtagging that. I don't think there's no one.
There's a lot of people who have claimed like, oh, shark whisperer.
Oh, okay.
And I don't. The thing is, like, I just don't.
The shark.
I don't
shaker.
feel like that.
Okay.
I have like a, and I think this is true for a lot of people. And like, there's what people kind of see, and then there's like, you know, the inside mind of like who someone is, and yeah, I don't know what my what the nickname would be. There's been a lot of different nicknames throughout the years, but it would maybe not even. I don't think it would be something with sharks. Okay. But I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
Never know.
But I
my
wouldn't
friend.
say I whisper them. I don't whisper them. Like I don't, because that's the thing is you can't control. Like you can to an extent, but you can do things, but it's kind of the moment you gotta like stay, like you can't think you control them, you know, you can't, or whisper or whatever.
I got you.
But yeah, I don't know.
That's cool. We're gonna get him a nickname then. How about that?
Yeah, I'm thinking. I'm
interested. Yeah, I'm interested to hear.
We'll get
But
him a nickname.
Yeah.
Another episode of
We're not famous.
Alex.
you,
We
guys.
appreciate you coming on, my
Happy
friend.
Halloween.
Happy
those who
Halloween.
celebrate.
For those who celebrate, I
Trick or
don't.
treat. Yeah, we're gonna get him. We're gonna get him trick or treating. This guy.
Yeah, I don't
Imagine he
celebrate.
shows up at your door in a Jason
I don't.
mask.
I don't celebrate Halloween, my friend.
We'll see you next time.
Thank you guys.
Else.